Hey there, Alex Kidman here, and as I'm recording this, I don't have a Switch 2 yet, but I'm on the case. Quite literally, thanks to this, which did just show up ahead of the Switch 2 launch, at least as I'm recording this. Confusingly, by the time you're able to see this, the Switch 2 will be available in Australia, but that's because that's how time works, that's not my fault. But this is the Belkin gaming charging case, the first in a new series of Belkin-produced peripherals for the Switch 2. They'll also have a more regular case and some screen protectors and more gadgets and gizmos coming later, so they tell me, although they won't tell me what those are. So I thought I'd do a quick unboxing, have a look at what this can offer. And if you've seen any of my unboxings, you know how this goes. I just sort of go for it and try my best. And in this case, that isn't moving, so I am going to use a tool, some scissors. Oh no, scissors, the violence, but it gets me into the product that much faster. And the point with this particular case is it's not just a protective case, it's also a 10,000 milliamp hour battery pack, and one that Belkin says will cool itself, will basically not overheat and fry a Switch 2, which feels like a decent idea. It'll run $99.95 here in Australia, a reasonable amount, I suppose, to pay for just a case. I'm sure there will be cheaper cases available to you, but one that should be solidly made by a decent brand, and obviously with that allure of having the battery pack in there. So we've got a reasonably solid zipper there. Actually, that's got quite a nice smooth action. I'm not maybe pulling it as neatly as I might, but that's because I'm presenting at the same time. And we then have your usual little pockets for putting Switch game cards in there. We've got a little holding area up here for rails and other bits and pieces, and there's another cute little bit in here. I quite like this, actually. There's a little pocket here. Now, this isn't for an additional Switch cartridge to go in. Instead, the idea here is that if you've got an AirTag or a MotorTag or any other little tracking tile style device, you pop it in there, and that way, if your Switch 2 goes walking, you know where it's gone walking to. That's quite smart, I think. And then, of course, this is where the Switch 2 itself would sit, and underneath it, this battery. So 10,000 milliamp hour battery, comes with a cable, but no particular charger, but you can, or theoretically should be able to, pull it out, and I can see there it's got 89% battery out of the box. Obviously, depending on when you got yours, it might not have that particular kind of battery capacity. Now, I don't have a Switch 2, as I mentioned. I do have an original Switch, an OLED one, so I'm just curious to see how the sizing difference works there. Okay. Well, I mean, that would fit, it would close, it would work. It's not exactly what it's designed for, although that would at least protect the screen, as you can see there. So that's sort of comparable. I wonder, just bear with me for 1 second because I'm going to grab something else. This almost certainly won't work, but let's see. Does the Steam Deck fit in there? No, it does not. Belkin has not actually said they're doing anything particular for the Steam Deck, but I just thought I'd try that for amusement purposes. Now, obviously, once I can get my hands on a Switch 2, they're rather thin in supply, even for journalists at this point. And again, this is being recorded ahead of the Switch 2's official availability here in Australia. Then I'll actually be able to test this thing, but on the surface, this seems like a reasonable sort of option if you wanted a case that could keep your Switch 2 going for a decent length of time. It feels reasonably solidly built. Obviously, some nice flexibility there. I like having the little AirTag or tracker pocket in there. Yeah, this seems like a nice piece of kit. Thanks for watching.